The Democrats are in disarray. They don't know whether to keep Joe Biden or replace him with someone more likely to beat Donald Trump, such as Kamala Harris. However, Harris faces some challenges of her own, particularly the challenge that she might actually not face a better chance against Trump than Biden does, despite her younger age and better cognitive ability. Moreover, she also faces the challenge of RFK Jr., who would likely pull more votes away from her than from Trump if she is running. And as of right now, between Biden and Trump, it's about even votes going to RFK Jr. from both candidates. However, if Harris replaces Biden, those Biden voters who don't like Harris but can't vote for Trump will probably vote for RFK Jr., and as such, his inclusion will affect Harris negatively. So, with that being said, let's just get on with the prediction, starting with the safe states, being Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Illinois, Vermont, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New York, as well as Maine's 1st District. Trump's safe states are Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Nebraska's 1st, Nebraska's 3rd, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, and West Virginia. However, if Trump is facing Harris head-to-head, Texas, Florida, and Ohio can also be considered safe states. Originally, they're not safe states if Trump is facing Biden, especially according to the 538 forecast, where Trump stands pretty low chances relative to what we'd expect in all three of those states. But against Harris, we can assume that all three states will go to Trump, since Biden performs better in swing states than Harris does, with the exception of Michigan. So, let's continue. Colorado and New Mexico will go to Harris, but not by the margins that they went to Biden back in 2020, more similar to the margins they went to Clinton back in 2016. And this is because a lot of the votes will be pulled away to RFK Jr. in these two states, and these two states have been narrowing up. In polls between Trump and Biden particularly, the states of Colorado and New Mexico have gone really, really close. Look, this poll has Biden only at +6 in the state of Colorado, and in New Mexico, Biden is only leading by +1 against Donald Trump in some polls, +7 at the higher end. So for that reason, against Harris, Trump will do particularly well in these two states, and Harris will barely win them. Additionally, the state where RFK Jr. will have the largest impact will be the state of Maine, which will actually go to Donald Trump as a tilt. Because Maine has an independent spirit. Maine has an independent as its senator, and its other senator is actually a Republican. As you can see here, Maine's independent senator, who caucuses with Democrats, is going to win the Senate election. With that being said, in Maine, RFK Jr. will pull enough votes away from Harris that Trump will win the state overall, and he'll also win the 2nd congressional district. At the surface level, Maine is also a swing state, having gone to Clinton by only 2.9 back in 2016. So, since we're in the Northeast, let's just continue with the states in the Northeast, with New Hampshire. The state of New Hampshire has had a slew of polls recently, particularly polls between Biden and Trump, but we can use these to predict Trump versus Harris. So Trump leads +2 against Biden. Against Harris, he probably lead by a similar margin. Biden performs better in the Northeast since he's a Northeast guy. He was born in Scranton, raised in Scranton, senator from Delaware. He's a Northeast guy. Harris does better in the West Coast since she's from the West Coast. So for that reason, Trump will do better in the Northeast against Harris than he does against Biden. Moreover, he'll win in the state of Pennsylvania, where fracking is a large issue, and he aligns more with the average oil driller, oil worker, and he will pull votes away from rural regions, even though Harris will do well in the city of Philadelphia. So now we get to New Jersey, one of the most contentious states, even though no one expected it to be contentious, with Trump leading in a poll, whereas the Democrats lead in most New Jersey polls. New Jersey wasn't ever expected to be this close. And for that reason, Harris will win New Jersey, but not by margins that she should be winning New Jersey. So, judging by the fact that even New Jersey is close, it's clear that Harris is not the best candidate that the Democrats can put forward. But she is the likely candidate given she's vice president, etc. But anyways, let's go to Harris's home turf, the West Coast. She's from California. She will do particularly well in the West Coast. However, there have been polls and forecasts between Harris and Trump in the West Coast. As you can see, Harris does better in Nevada than Biden pretty significantly. And in Arizona, it's relatively the same. So Trump wins Arizona and he wins Nevada, but he wins Nevada by a lesser margin. So Trump already gets to 261 electoral votes. And he'll also win Nebraska's second, which he won against Clinton back in 2016, but he lost against Biden in 2020. Now we get to the Midwest. In the Midwest, Harris faces disaster, losing Wisconsin, Michigan. There hasn't been anything in Minnesota, but it can be assumed she loses Minnesota, but barely. So she loses Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, bringing Trump to 297 electoral votes. So he already wins, but by how much will he win? We can see with Virginia. Virginia is the state that Republicans have been doing better and better in, similarly to New Jersey. And there has been even polling between Trump and Harris. Trump does better against Harris than he does against Biden in the state of Virginia. And for that reason, Trump will win Virginia if Harris replaces Biden due to Kennedy pulling away a few votes from Harris. And for that reason, Trump breaks the even margin and probably wins +1 or +2 in Virginia. So now we get to North Carolina and Georgia. So Georgia, Harris has a 70% chance of winning, so Trump will win the state of Georgia. And North Carolina, there have been recent polls in the state with Trump leading by about +3 against Biden, and against Harris, he'd win by probably similar margins. So Trump wins against Harris, and there is no candidate that we have seen that can beat Donald Trump thus far. So like and subscribe for more, and thank you.